Hey, this is Angie from Little Dumplings Nursery. You here? I'm back with part two of my test of the Winsor and Newton Winton oil paints, applying them on vinyl in a heat setting method. So this is the paint I used. I used the Eco House Extra Mild Citrus Thinner as my thinning solvent because I'm allergic to odorless thinners. So here's the piece I set. So just to recap what we did, this first little section right here, this brown model was done with the Winton mixed with Genesis mixed together. In the thinning medium used was the Eco House. This section in the middle was the Winton by itself mixed with the citrus thinner from Eco House. And this section right here was the Winton mixed with the citrus thinner and the Shelly Marie or S&M heat setting agent. And then this last one was just a higher concentration of the Winton mixed with the Shelly Marie heat setting agent, and then I added a couple of drops of the citrus thinner to that to try to get a flow so that to mimic if I wanted to paint something like hairlines. So let's see what we got. Let's go back over here to the one that we did. So this first one was the mixture with Genesis. If I bend this, it doesn't come off. If I rub it, it's not rubbing off with my finger. Feels very just like you would with Genesis. It feels heat set. It feels the vinyl smooth. Looks set. It looks good. You got your good model pattern. The one here that I did a little bit thicker with the paint, the Winton paint by itself and the solvent, the citrus solvent, that one does not appear to rub off. Nope. When I bend it, I get no cracking. So that one looks good. This one that I did where I added a little of the Shelly Marie heat setting agent in with the solvent and the Winton. No rub off. No cracking. I did get a little bit better model pattern on these than I did this one, just simply because if you'll remember, my wedge had a little spot where I didn't get the uh, modeling pattern plucked out good, so that's why it looks a little funky. But anyway, so it just ended up with some of it going on thicker there. So that's working. And then down here where I painted what is the mimic of hairlines, they're not rubbing off either. So that is a good one. So let's try solvent may pull some paint. We're going to see if it does. And the reason I say it may is because it will with Genesis. Any of your heat set paints, until they've cured for a good 24 to 48 hours, are not totally permanent, even after they're heat set. So we'll see how much paint it pulls. And we'll see. So starting with the one that had the Genesis mixed in it. It may be pulling a tad. I've got a pink thing here too. Going to the one where it was thicker. Now where it was thicker, I think I'm pulling more. So that one's going to take a little bit longer. And I know that Jessica had told me that if she was painting hair and painting thicker, that sometimes she had to heat set it more than once to get it set, or leave it to lay for a couple of days. This is the one with the Shelly Marie heat setting agent. And it pulls just a tad. And then here's the, we go to the other side of this wet with the hair paint and the Shelly Marie heat setting agent. And it pulls a tad as well. So you have to rub it hard to get it to pull color with these. So it would look like, from what I'm seeing, is that it will heat set it, but it will not be completely permanent until the 24 to 48 hours has passed, which, like I said, when it comes to the citrus. So that does not surprise me. But is it set enough that you could keep painting? Absolutely. I know this will completely cure to the vinyl with time, simply because we painted with it for years in the industry before we ever had Genesis. So basically, what the heat setting does is it gives it time to dry out some and set to the vinyl better so that you can keep painting. It also gives you the ability to do the mottling pattern or to draw some lines for hair patterns and set it so that you're able to keep working with it. Because see, this is set enough that it does not rub off with my fingers, so I could keep painting and it would be fine. In fact, I've already taken my mixture and stowed it away. But anyway, if you were to pounce more paint on top of this and keep going, it should be fine. So my initial impression is, yes, I really think this would work. Personally, I think I might go ahead and add a couple of drops of the Shelly Marie heat setting agent to mine, just so that it gives me that presence of mind that its setting has that extra setting agent in it for the heat process. If you're going to put it on thickly, you want to heat set it a couple of times, like if you're doing hair painting. And then also with all of it, know that just as it is with, I have found this to be true with Genesis, I have found this to be true with BC paints, I have found this to be true with irresistible heat set paints. Any of the heat set paints I've tried it with, you can always rub back over them with solvent. If you rub hard with a Q-tip with solvent after you heat set them, you will get a little lift off because it takes a little time for the paints to cure to the vinyl completely, even though they are heat set enough to keep working with them. So that answers my question. Yes, this works to mix it in with your Genesis. It works to make your nice modeling patterns. You can mix it with your Shelly Marie heat set agent. I would be almost willing to bet that you can mix it with your other products like your Exodus thinning medium and your if you're using Irresistibles brand or BC brand, you could probably mix it with those as well. You would need to try them just to make sure. I know that with the Exodus brand, I kind of tend to lean towards that brand the most because it tends to be the most like Genesis in performance. So anyway, that's my test. Hope you enjoyed it. If you got any comments, observations, or have done anything yourself, give me a shout out and y'all have a good one.